Metabolic V2. This is a super safe and effective natural anabolic. Not only is this product going to help you increase protein synthesis, which basically means muscle recovery and growth, it also may inhibit myostatin, which is a protein in your body that is known to inhibit muscle growth. This is a complete natural anabolic that works through multiple different pathways, has multiple trademarked ingredients. If you are a natural athlete looking for that edge, Metabolic V2 is what you need. Get yourself some.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome to today's episode. We are going to talk to Kristel Williams. Kristel had obviously an amazing transformation over the 90 days of our last challenge. Kristel, how are you doing today?
I'm really well. Thank you, Paul. How are you?
I'm fantastic. One of my favorite things is having these discussions, because I think especially now when I go on the internet and I see things, I see before and afters, you don't get the behind, you just get a picture, right? And I love to talk the story, talk about what really works, and what really drives the changes that happens. Because if my numbers are correct, over the 90 days, you lost about 27 pounds and 7 inches off your waist. And the pictures back that up. I mean, it's not. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your history of, because have you done one of our challenges before?
I sure have.
How did you get to a place where you felt like, okay, this was the 90 days where you were really going to make a big impact?
Yeah. So this was my third time trying. And I guess there's something with the number 3, right? Because I've heard that with other past contestants.
Yeah.
This was my third time. The other 2 times, I know you guys have great resources, and I really did not use them to the full ability, I guess. I still felt overwhelmed because there's so much information out there. And for me, it's more kind of like the more choices I have, the more difficult it is. And the more I start to doubt myself in everything.
Sure.
And that's kind of like what happened the first 2 times. Like, I wasn't sure if I was doing things right. And then I was like, am I eating too much? Am I eating not enough? And so I literally, not lying, I would step on the scale. And I know that's another thing we should not just only be focused on, but it's a learning process. And then every 2-3 days, I would adjust diets and workouts. And so there was never really progress. And I got discouraged and dropped out. And then this last time, my focus was just different. I was like, okay, at least complete the 90 days. Let's just go with that. 90 days, good eating, stay consistent, be in the gym. And I had a great support system. My family was wonderful. So it was a different mindset, and just be more realistic, smaller goals. And like I said, let's just complete the 90 days. That was my main thing.
So the thing that stands out to me is, like, your before pictures are not what most people would consider a problem, right? Like, maybe you personally felt that, but what was your driving force behind wanting to make this transformation? Was it health reasons? Was it just, you wanted to feel good about yourself, or
No, honestly, I go back to like 2014, where I've always been very active. So like as a young kid, I did gymnastics like 5-6 days a week, 3 hours a day, very intense. So I love to be very active. That's always been a thing for me. Then growing older, getting older, I got into the gym. I started working out, and I met this one lady. She was about to turn 50, and she was going to compete in her very first bodybuilding competition. And she asked me to train with her and join her in that show. And at that point, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to be on the stage in a bikini and everybody looking at me. But I said, I will come and watch your show. And that's exactly what I did. So I went to her show, and that's where I fell in love. And I saw what all that meant, what she already explained to me. And I thought, okay, I want that. So since 2014, 2015, that's been like a dream of mine. But we all know life happens sometimes. And, we definitely went through some trauma with my children health-wise. So, it was put back, in the back scene, basically. And then at some point last year, I started to go to a couple of bodybuilding shows where I actually talked to you, Paul. I saw you and I came and talked to you. Yes. And because I always watch your videos and your Instagram and all that. So when I saw you, I was like, I have to go say hi. And so really my main thing was I want to compete. I just want to compete. And I felt like last year things were put in place. I met people, they were like, hey, you want to compete? Hey, do you have a coach? Hey, like everything kind of fell in place. Um, so I reached out here. There was a coach locally who helped me with a nutrition plan. And that's the plan actually that I ended up using. And it was the accountability. And the accountability is so important because I always felt like, I can do this. I can do this. There's a lot of pride involved. Like, I don't need all this. I can do this, but I couldn't because I've tried so many times.
Sure.
And accountability. And then, like I said, the Facebook group just to lift each other up, and like, because everybody struggles. It's not an easy process. If it was easy, everybody
No.
would be in wonderful shape. So we all have our moments, and I definitely did too. But the whole thing combined and just focusing, like, I really want to compete. And that was my main goal. Like, I have to push through. You want this, you got to do it. Suck it up. So
Well,
combination of things. Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about your calories going into the competition and then how low they got. And then also if there was, cardiovascular exercise used, or like what were some of the changes you made along the way, if you have some of that information. So where did you kind of start with calories and cardio?
Calories, honestly, I really don't know
Okay.
exactly where I'm at because, like I said, the meal plan was given to me. And what I liked about that is I didn't have to think anymore.
Hmm.
Like, and I was like, okay, just tell me what I need to do. And I do it. The doing is not a problem,
Okay.
but, just the thinking and overthinking and then the doubting, that was the part that had to go away.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was really just walking. That was one thing that I learned from you too, just walking on the treadmill. And that's really
Yeah.
all the cardio I did. I didn't do anything else. I started with like 20 minutes a day and then slowly bumped it up, like 25 minutes. And then it became 30 minutes. And then I want to say like halfway, I started to do 2 sessions of that. So then it was like, 25, 25, 30 and 30. So towards the end, I was like at 40, 45 minutes in the morning and then 40 to 45 minutes in the afternoon, but just walking incline treadmill. And I am so thankful for that piece of information because my knees are not the greatest. My ankles are not the greatest. So, when I saw your videos about just walking, I was like, really? Okay. And I did it. And I was like,
Well, you're
absolutely.
tall. You're 5'11", and you said you did
Yeah.
gymnastics.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely had some
So
ER visits back then. Yeah.
yeah, and so I grew up playing pretty intense sports too, and I noticed my knees would give me trouble if I tried going for jogs or if I tried doing any like, running sprints too frequently. Whereas with
Yeah.
the walking, um, I just always felt like it was a cheat code because I'm like, it doesn't really make sense. I'm really just walking more and
Yeah.
seeing these big changes. And so, I mean, doing 90 minutes of cardio a day, I think if you told somebody you did 90 minutes of cardio a day, that sounds intense. But
Yeah.
if you just said, "Oh no, I just walked twice a day," it
Yeah.
changes like the mental approach to how
Yeah.
challenging it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. And those were the times that I could get on the Facebook group on Fridays, the calls, from you guys. Just,
Hmm.
put the headset on and watch that. So I mean, it went by fast. It was never like, oh my gosh, I have to do cardio. I made sure I had something fun to watch or listen to. So
Well, let's talk a little bit about your meal plan because I think that can provide some insight based on the food choices. Now, was this meal plan provided to you? Was this something that you said like these are the foods I like and I don't like, or was this just given to you based on kind of where you were at? And did it change over the course?
um everything I ate, I liked. And it was really when we started out, it was kind of like, okay, like you said, like, what do you like to eat? Now I'm very easy. I pretty much like everything.
Yeah.
Um, and another thing for me, because I know there's a lot of people, they say, like, oh, I don't want to meal prep. I don't want to eat the same thing, 5 days a week. I always say, my kids get tired of it, like, yeah, mom, you're a simple soul. And I am like, I love routine. That gives me the security, actually. So if I know what goes in my body, I feel good about that. um, so in the beginning, yes, I had, like, for example, I had oatmeal with blueberries in the beginning, which I'm a carb girl. I absolutely love carbs.
Good. Good.
I
Good.
had some white jasmine rice and I had some sweet potatoes. And along the way, those things were slowly reduced. And towards the end, like, my oatmeal had to go. And I was like, no. But yeah, so it was the carbs kind of that was taken out. Protein always kind of stayed the same. Carbs were taken out, fat stayed the same. So it was more playing with the carbohydrates, actually. Yeah.
All right. So you lost 27 pounds. What was the weight difference on the scale? Do you remember those numbers? Like,
Um, I think I started out, gosh, I should have looked because I know I took pictures, of course. It was around 200 pounds,
okay.
close to 200, 190, up in the upper 190s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
so losing 27 pounds when the challenge ended, it's also a challenging time to transition because our challenge kind of ends right when the holiday season's kind of starting.
yeah.
So we do have the accountability groups to try to help people through that, but describe how it's been since then. I mean, were you able to maintain and continue moving forward?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think also, like I said, my goal was still competing. And so I am going to do my very, very first competition in June this year.
Amazing. Congrats.
So I'm very focused on that still. So I'm like, I can't stop. I don't want to stop. I feel too good. And that's the thing. I feel good. I feel so good.
Yeah.
And and another thing too, like now people who have seen me, because I've been going to the same gym for a while, but now people walk up and they're like, hey, I've seen you transform. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
how do you do this? They come and talk to me. And I told my husband, I said, it's amazing because I've never looked like this. And it does so much with, inside, like the confidence that you get and just feel good and have that energy. It is so worth it. So worth it. So even though, yes, holidays, I went to see my mom. My mom lives overseas.
Okay.
So I only see her once a year. And I knew, you go back to mom's house, mom's kitchen. So it was kind of like I tried to enjoy a little here and there, but I was still going to the gym. So I found a local gym over there. And I really was going to take it easy, but again, it just feels too good. So once I stepped in the gym, I was like, okay, I see you guys tomorrow. And I would go back the next day. Focus more on lifting, kind of slowed down with the cardio because, I want to spend some time with my mom too and not be in the gym 2 hours. So
Yeah.
I kept going. And like I said, I did enjoy some good food and some typical snacks that, I remember as a kid growing up. I'm like, hey, once a year. But then when I got back, I was like, all right, we got to keep moving and keep going. And the eye is still like, hey, Chris, you're going to compete in June. Get ready. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
still
awesome.
super pumped. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing that I've loved about the challenge is the deadline aspect of it that I think forces us to stop
Yeah.
saying soon or someday, and okay, this is the dead. And the same thing with the competition, in June. So you're
Yeah.
thinking even on a daily basis, like, okay, these
Yeah.
decisions I make now are going to affect me down the road.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I
Yeah.
think,
It's like counting down. It's like, okay, now we're 19 weeks out. We started at 20. I started prep last week officially. And
yeah.
so 1 week in the books, and now I'm at 19 weeks. So yeah. Yeah.
What's the name of the show you're doing?
The NPC Adela Garcia in
Oh, okay.
Austin,
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah, yeah. Very, very.
Yeah.
Texas is amazing. I haven't been to
Yeah.
that one, but I usually am at Republic of Texas, which is shortly after
Yeah.
that in July.
That's why I talked to you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, well, I wish you all the best. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned the group. How active were you in the group as far as, were you passive or were you commenting or, yeah.
I was not that active. It was more like when I saw certain posts when people were struggling that I could relate to, that I would respond to that. Or if someone was like, hey, I did this and felt really good about that accomplishment, I was like, hey, good to go, more encouraging. But it was not a daily posting thing. Reading, yes, but posting, no. And then I really tried to do the calls that you guys did on Fridays. And of course, during the day I was working, so I would watch it back later at night when I was in the gym. But I think just, what I really like about the group is how everybody is just uplifting each other and encouraging each other. And that is important. And then again, there's the accountability at the same time. I mean, if you connect with some people, then there's that accountability as well. And that is really important, that you need that. We all
Yeah.
need it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I've found with the internet is helpful for, because you don't necessarily have to have somebody in your gym or in your house or even in your proximity that kind of has your same goals. If because of the internet, you can
Hmm.
find like-minded people, and you'll find this especially when you compete, going
Yeah.
back to backstage at the show, you're going to make friends that are the same you know, have the same kind of experience as you, and it's going to all click, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not alone. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people
Right.
that behave this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, your transformation, especially in your core, I hear a lot from women, especially over 40. You know, you hear about menopause, perimenopause, and I sometimes wonder just how impactful that can be, because you start to hear like, oh, well, you work twice as hard and you don't get the same result. But clearly, you know, at 48, you were able to make a significant change to your body composition, especially in your core. Have you noticed an improvement in just your overall like hormones, hunger, those kind of things along the way?
I, you know what? No, just lots of good energy. It's not that I was really hungry. Of course, you have your days or, that time of the month, whatever. Yes. But that's normal. That was prior to so I
Yeah.
cannot really say like, changes like that. I just felt really good and I had a lot of energy and strength. I got so much stronger just in general. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, would you have thought, okay, I just have stubborn belly fat or body fat prior to getting it off? Did you just think like, oh, you were kind of stuck this way, or did you know like you weren't really executing?
I knew I wasn't
Yeah.
executing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I really feel, like I said, I mean, we all have days you don't want to go to the gym, or that you're at the gym, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this last set or whatever. But those workouts are the best ones because when you push through and then you go home and it's like, I did that, and you take that
Right.
to your next workout. It's like you said, there's so much mental going on as well. Like it's a lot, it's a thought process. I learned so much about the whole journey, but I learned so much about myself and really how much I can do, because we're quick to say, I can't. But hey, I did this. And I never thought, I would end up, second. Like, I'm super proud. I'm really thankful. And I'm like, yeah, that's an accomplishment. And I did that, So we can all do it if we put our mind to it. I truly, truly believe that.
Yeah, I think that when people hear 90 days, they think two things. They think, oh, that's not that long. And then once they get in a few weeks, they go, oh my gosh, we still have
Yeah.
8, 9 more weeks. They don't realize
Yeah.
12 weeks is a long time. So
Yeah.
27 pounds in 90 days sounds like a lot, but when you put your body in a position to just make progress day after day, it's almost like the momentum of it,
Yeah.
gets going. Um,
Yeah.
and then you get a little bit fatigued towards the end, but then you got the finish line in sight.
Yes. Oh yeah. That moment I do remember.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That I was like, like almost there. I think it was like 2 weeks before the end
Yeah.
of the challenge that, I would go to the gym and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Oh my gosh, I just want to go home. And then, again, I had to talk myself through it like, Chris, you're almost there.
Yeah.
2 weeks means you did 10, so let's look at
Yeah.
it that way. You can do these two. And
Yeah.
yeah, you have to talk yourself through it at times too, for sure.
Well,
But
contest prep is even more focused because you're going to be getting on stage in front of strangers and judges, and that can be extremely motivating. So I know you're going to have just an incredible year ahead of you. So,
yeah, thank you, Paul. Yeah, I'm super excited, really
well,
excited.
and
Like
if
I
you
said,
if you'd like to be in the group, I've invited all of our champions to be in the group to just, like you said, every now and then you might see somebody that you can give some feedback to, give your
mhm,
thoughts, share your
yeah,
experiences, because I think I've been saying this a lot lately that success leaves clues, and people that are going through it and they don't see what's on the other side when they're about to give up, sometimes just saying the right thing to them can help them get to that
yeah,
next success point.
absolutely, yeah. And I would love to be in a group. I will definitely do that. And like I
Perfect.
said, I see that in the gym here now too. Like when people come, and then when they saw, the little post from you guys. Like one lady, she came up, she said, "This is not you," and I said, "Yeah, this is me before the challenge,"
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh my gosh," I said, "We can all do it. We really can."
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Anyone in particular, maybe in the group that you became friends with, or any people in your life that were involved in this?
Well, of course, first my family, they were so understanding that mom had to go to the gym again. My husband too. Like, he was like, he saw how happy I was, with this,
Yeah.
and So he absolutely supported it. So definitely my family. And yeah, I have to say my coach too. You know, he and his wife, both amazing, amazing people, listen to their athletes. And, you know, it's the accountability, and I could not have done it without those people. So
That's amazing.
yeah, just, you know, great coach. His wife is amazing. And, you know, um, I learned that I needed help with accountability, and
Yeah.
there's nothing bad about that. You know, like in the beginning, like I said, it was pride. I got this. And then I realized I didn't. And, you know, he gave me the plan and I applied it, and it was successful. So now we're getting ready for the competition. And again, I'm thankful for my coach, for his wife, my family, and of course you guys for doing this. I think this is great. The challenges are very encouraging. And like I said, this was my third time. So I wasn't after the first one, oh, I give up. No, something inside is like, I can do better than last time. And
Right.
let's beat last time. And I did. And yeah, so it's the overall experience is wonderful. And again, all of the coaches and you too, Paul, like all the information, I told you that too, like all the information you give is just great. And yeah, so it overall just super thankful, absolutely thankful.
Well, amazing. I'm grateful that the platform has evolved. Every year when we come to the point where we, you know, every challenge, when we come to the point where we have to start judging, I say it every time, it's like it gets more and more challenging. This year was no different. I mean, obviously finishing second, and it was very close between you and Katie. I believe we were, you know, had a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
So yeah, so congrats, and I'm excited to see you on stage this year. You know, I'm hoping we
Yeah,
cross paths. That'd be awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, same here. I would love that.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, Chris, and have a great start to your week and
Yeah,
a great February and a great start to your prep.
will do. Thank you so much. And
All right,
yeah, you too, Paul. Have a great one. Thanks
you
again.
too. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.